Hi everyone, I'm Virginia Butler. I'm in the digital studio, D&T Digital Studio, with the D&T Digital reporters, Brian Sharp and Khristopher Brooks. We're talking about photonics. It's been a year since the big introduction and announcement about what's going to be happening with photonics in this community. So what has happened so far?
I think a lot of it's been behind the scenes. Negotiating of agreements. The big one that's pointed to is dealing with intellectual property rights. As you can imagine, which maybe they didn't fully appreciate the complexity of getting the Department of Defense, private corporations, and the various research universities all on the same page has taken some doing. They have some, essentially, they have the consensus on the language. There's still, everybody has to sign off on it. So we've got that. We've got processes that are essentially now they're operating. Money has started to move through the approval process. A list of what equipment they need has been identified. And they've identified the process for sort of evaluating where they want to go with an actual location for what is called the testing, assembly, and packaging facility, which is very important to really get this thing off the ground.
Absolutely. So where did you think it would be by now in a year?
Well, you know, I think a lot of folks talked that there was going to be thousands of jobs, and there was a lot of the early bickering about the location of the headquarters. So I think at this point we thought maybe we would be able to walk down to Legacy Tower, formerly Bausch & Lomb, take the elevator up, schedule an appointment, talk to the CEO, go tour some companies and job fairs. That's still probably some months, if not over a year off.
Okay, so you've both been following this for the whole year and tracking lots of different facets of this photonics move into Rochester. What do we not know at this point about going into the second year? Where do you think we're going?
Well, there's a lot of question marks right there. I mean, Brian had mentioned this TAP facility we're calling the testing assembly facility. We have some indication of where that facility might physically be, but we don't know that for sure. We have a couple places that people are thinking about, but we don't know what that building is going to look like. We do know what equipment will go in there, but we don't know exactly where that'll be. So that's one of the things. The second thing that we really don't know about is where these jobs are that were promised at the beginning of the announcement. You saw a lot of public officials come out and say this is going to create thousands and thousands of jobs. We're 1 year into it. It's not even dozens of jobs. So maybe that'll come 1, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, but they definitely aren't here right now.
Well, the training for those jobs.
Yeah, and the training for those jobs are essential if we're going to fill any of those jobs that we get. So we don't know what brand new technology or ideas may come out of that research institute. We do have a lot of brilliant minds in the world of optics and photonics coming together on this, but they haven't really put forth a new device or a new research idea that will actually revolutionize the way we use light right now. So the testing facility, the actual headquarters that we can walk into, new research, jobs, those are all question marks, and I think those are items that people in the public will want to get more specifics on in year 2.
Okay, so you're thinking at this point it's still in its infancy. Hopefully there'll be more in year 2 that people can kind of hold
We could at least expect to see more specifics about the testing facility. We know that they have put a deadline on themselves for having that stood up by July of next year. So we should definitely have more specifics on that. Some of these other things, we're just not sure. We don't have crystal balls in front of us.
Okay, Khristopher Brooks, Brian Sharp, thank you. You can follow their stories at democratandchronicle.com, and we'll have more on this certainly coming up.